But on that same weekend, over at Barclays Centre, it is Wilder versus Helenius. Always good for heavyweight boxing to be on. Alex, give us your thoughts on how this one will go. How will Wilder look? Does Helenius give him problems? And, what's in store after this fight?
Will he look good? How will he look? That's the biggest question. I mean, that trilogy with Fury, I mean, it had to take a lot out of him, something at least, right? But Deontay still has Molinier right here, cocked and loaded, ready to go at any time. And to this day, I've said it once, I'll say it again. It knocks down anybody, out anyone, including Joseph Joyce, if that's even his real first name, his first name. Um, Anybody's going to sleep. I don't care. So I expect Robert Helenius to take a beautiful nap. Will they bring the stool out quickly? I don't know. Former sparring partners, so they know each other. I've heard a lot of funny things. Malik Scott said that Robert Helenius isn't a very good sparrer. So okay, you beat the shit out of him. Cool. So maybe it's going to be a bit timid out there the first few rounds. But yeah, Robert Helenius is going to be dreaming he's a Viking. I don't know. When were the Vikings popular? 14, 1500s? I don't know. Maybe, maybe they have to wear a helmet afterwards. No, in all seriousness, I expect Wilder to get this KO victory. I'll say within 6 rounds. Let's just go round 6. And but I will say I've been saying on this specific channel, AJ versus Wilder. I'm so sorry. I'm changing it. I want Joe Joyce versus Wilder. Um, so
Yeah,
sad. I have to say, I got to see that chin. I got to see that chin against Wilder's right hand. Uh, Definitely. Please, let's get it. And hello, little guest. I see you got someone over there with you, Jim.
Yeah, she's been scratching at my leg for the last 10 minutes.
She
This
had to hear
is,
the Wilder take.
yeah. Well, she was backing about it the other week, so there you go. Josh, what do you think?
yeah,
Go for it.
yeah. I agree with Vega here. I think that Helenius is going to be stopped at some point. Helenius found a new leash on his boxing life through those fights with what's the guy's name? The Polish fighter,
Konoski.
Kanaski. Yes, thanks. So yeah, he found a little bit of a new leash on life when he got those 2 wins, and stylistically, he was just a problem for Kanaski. But I do think that Wilder's punch is one that Helenius probably won't be able to take for the entirety of the fight. So I think that Wilder stops him at some point. It may not even go too many rounds in all actuality because Helenius can be hit, and Wilder does a good job of hitting when he's really focused. Well, I guess he's generally been focused. His fight with Fury, but that was a superior opponent. But when Wilder's on his game and he's landing that right hand, I think that he can definitely be a problem. So yeah, Helenius doesn't leave this fight standing.
Yeah, I think I'd go with that as well. It's hard to see how Wilder doesn't win. I mean, like I say, Helena's got a little new lease of life out of the last couple of wins that he's got, but I mean, it's easy to forget how bad he'd looked before that. But yeah, Kaiser in the chat again makes a good point, saying that it's a fight is a measuring stick to see how much of Wilder there is left, and I go along with that. I'd expect him to win. I'd expect him to get the stoppage, and I'm still all in for Wilder versus Joshua. That would be still a huge fight for me, and really intriguing.
Oh yeah.
Quite an interesting undercard on this one. I noticed before when I was putting this together. We got Caleb Plant against Anthony Durrell. That's not a bad matchup. What do you reckon to that one, Alex?
Yeah, Anthony Durrell probably still is like a top 8-ish, maybe closing in top 5 still at that weight class. He had that fight with David Benavidez where it seemed that he was being competitive. However, once he got cut, it was over. It was a bloody mess, and We all seen what David Benavidez does once he smells blood. Caleb Plant's coming off of his loss to Canelo. I don't think the scorecards really uh, were a reflection of the fight. I think he did a lot of good things, but was worn down. And so Darrell's a great matchup. Darrell has skills. Former I believe, two-time world champion. I remember he beat Saki Obika in a
Mhm.
rematch because they drew the first time, and then he had the vacant belt technical decision win over Yildirim, which, yeah, I guess Yildirim's a household name when you look at his resume. Anyways, um, but I just think Caleb Plant's probably just too fresh, too quick
Yeah.
for Darrell. I could see him. I believe he's going to pull out unanimous decision, but is going to have some scary moments in the back half of the fight.
Okay. What say you, Josh?
Yeah, I like Anthony Durrell. I like Caleb Plant as well, and I agree with Vega as far as I thought Caleb Plant did pretty good with Canelo in their matchup and had some pretty good rounds that were clear for him. And Anthony Durrell, I mean, he keeps on ticking, keeps finding a way to get back in that mix, regardless. But I think it'll be telling because while I do like Durrell, I feel like he's when you think about it, you have those elite fighters. I think he's just a slight notch below the elite fighters. And if Caleb Plant is as hyped and is as what we had seen in their skills and all of that stuff, I think he should be able to pull off a decision as well. But Anthony Durrell's going to be there. I feel the entire time, just given the styles and such. Benavidez was a different type of fighter, but Caleb Plant probably isn't going to press in a similar fashion. So I think that Plant could certainly win a decision over Durrell.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I think I'll go along with that. I think it'll be a decision. I think Plant will win. It's a decent contest for a bounce back fight, I'd say. So fair play to him for that, rather than just going with an easy, no hoper. So fair play. Also, then we have Gary Antonio Russell, sorry, and Emmanuel Rodriguez, which looks to be a rematch because of a accidental headbutt from the
Yeah,
previous
Rodriguez
fight.
didn't want none. That didn't even look that bad.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just say yeah. So this is another DC area fighter out of Maryland here. So I've seen a number of his fights, and he's definitely talented. And I think he was tested in one Carlos Payano fight, and he's shown that he can withstand some stuff. And he has a pretty solid output as well. And he's very skilled, much like the other Russell brothers. And I do recall that headbutt in the other fight, so we didn't really get to see anything. Manny Rodriguez, he's lost to, of course, in a way, that elite level loss, of course, and someone else defeated him. I don't recall, but
Gaballo, Remat
okay,
Gaballo.
okay, yeah. So I think that Russell has enough to be able to get the victory over him, and I think it'll be interesting. I know Russell's going to come in prepared, trains. They're always training all that stuff. So I think that this stage will be fitting for Gary Antonio Russell. So I like him for winning a decision over Rodriguez for sure.
Okay. Would you go along with that, Alex?
Yeah, and Gary Antonio's, we see Antoine, he's more of the power puncher. Gary Russell, master of distance, and when his speed is unmatchable. And Antonio's just more pure boxer. I wouldn't put him as highly as I do as the other two brothers. He had that
Yeah.
really tough fight with Santiago. A lot of people felt that Santiago probably deserved the victory. But Emmanuel Rodriguez, they get another chance to see exactly where Gary Antonio is. Was that last fight just an anomaly, or is he really one of the top fighters at what is this bantamweight?
Yeah,
Or
Bantam.
bantamweight. So yeah, so we'll see how this fight is. I mean, it's a big card, big stage. So yeah, I'll tune in and see what Antonio has to offer. Gary Antonio, I'm sorry. They like to be first and middle name spoken.
All right. Lastly, then on this card, Frank Sanchez in against Carlos Negron.
Hmm.
Frank Sanchez, yeah, the Cuban Cuban guy, undefeated, beat Christian Hamer, and they beat F.A. Jagba. That's right. That was Jagba's first loss. He was a bit of a highly touted prospect. I don't know if it was at that point. I guess he's destined to win this one as well as he Sanchez. So what do you think of him, Alex?
Yeah, Frank Sanchez, the Cuban Flash. Saw him in person on that Frank Martin, Luis Ortiz card. He was known for training with Canelo, sparring with Canelo. Um, Turns out he actually was a Ryan Garcia guy. Ryan Garcia's dad is the one that hooked him up with Canelo. So he has left Canelo's gym and is now training with Joe Goosen out there in California.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, probably the best pure boxer in heavyweight right now, I would say. He's going to be very difficult to beat for anybody because of his boxing skills.
Yeah.
This is actually, I'm sorry, this was actually supposed to be on that card, but Christian Hammer came in because Negron had got COVID the week of.
Okay.
And they probably have sparred before. Negron, they're both Miami home base. Like I said, Frank Martin does train out in Cali, but if whenever you're out of camp, you may just go to a home base gym in your area. I know Luis Ortiz has sparred Negron a lot. Negron's a former Puerto Rican Olympian, I believe.
Yeah.
But don't think much resistance. It's probably going to be a 10-0 shutout. Hopefully, we don't fall asleep because Sanchez for all the skill he has, he's not a very exciting, very appealing style.
No.
But yeah, definitely someone to watch. May take him a couple of years to get to the championship, but gonna keep a lookout.
Yep. Anything you want to add to that there, Josh? Sorry.
Yeah, I agree with Vega for the most part. I think, given the trajectories, this is kind of a stay busy fight for Sanchez as he tries to lure in some of the bigger name opponents, and hopefully we get to see him with some of the bigger name opponents here very soon. But I like him in this fight, and I think it'll be convincing.
Yep. Cool. I like that card actually. It's just 4 fights, but you can go with the BoxRec stars and at least the decent, fairly competitive fights, and not just 10 names versus nobodies, which you get a lot over here, especially in the UK.
We feel we get that here as well. So I mean, yeah, it's nice to get one of these cards.